What would you say has been your toughest challenge as a CEO in your whole journey at Bloom and Wild?
Yeah, I thought about this. So there are a few ways of thinking about this. At the very beginning, there were lots of moments that where I just thought that perhaps the whole thing might not work. I remember, for example, learning that Royal Mail only accepted boxes that were 60 centimeters long, and we ordered boxes, and then I took them literally to the post office, and the chap behind the counter at the post office got out a tape measure and told me that the box was 61 centimeters long, and therefore you couldn't accept it. Um, my literally my heart sunk, into the center of the earth at that point, and since redesigned our boxes so that they're unambiguously the right size and things like that. But there have been lots of moments like that where we didn't have ventilation in our boxes, and therefore the flowers got moldy, and we made a ton of mistakes early on. And I think as we've grown to scale up phase, um, a lot of the biggest challenges has been around navigating, protecting, nurturing, and maintaining our culture, and especially in the having worked from home for almost a year now, and onboarded about a third of our team during that process. This has been super important to get right. Our culture is so precious and valuable to us, but so much of it has developed through people's relationships with each other, and enjoying spending time together, and everyone has screen fatigue, and so it's just much harder to navigate that. And I think we've done a good job of it, and we've tried to adapt how we do it. But I feel like ultimately I need to be the custodian of that culture, and I need to continue to do so as we scale.
And what about you as a CEO personally? What are you really good at and what are you really bad at? And what would you say to the third part of that? Have you been developing best at? So going from quite bad to on the path to becoming better?
Yeah. So I think what I'm good at is kindness. It's super important for me to be kind to everybody that I interact with. I think it connects to my desire to please people. I think it's really sort of like innate in the business that we're in, that you have to do it kindly. And I think I've tried to be kind to our consumers and those that we work with, and to our team. And you know, obviously I don't get 100% positive feedback on that, but I think people recognize that I try and that it matters to me. And I think that's something that I'll, you know, maybe it means I don't strike the hardest commercial bargain, and I leave something on the table in a negotiation or whatever, but I'm actually okay with that. And I think the scope to share in success rather than hoard it. And so that's fine. I think the other thing I'd say, which kind of connects all of your questions, I'm both good at this and bad at this, and learning on it, is that I'm very detail oriented, and I do think bottom up. I notice specifics rather than patterns or themes, and then I make lists of specific things, and then I find how they connect together, and it's just how my mind works, and I've tried to be less like that, and make my lists at a less granular level of detail. I think people can feel that this means that I'm micro involved in their work. Sometimes I am micro involved in their work because I do notice things, and because I have an obsession with getting stuff right for our customers. And in a way, I think that's a good thing. In a way, I've also learned that sometimes I should be less quick to give feedback, and maybe somebody else will notice it first, and I don't need to always be the first person to say something, or I can think about whether there's a process that could have worked differently, rather than commenting on the specific thing and stuff like that. So that's been my learning journey. It's also been around hiring people, and I think as I've been fortunate to raise money and therefore build a stronger team around me, I've had a greater degree of trust in those around me, and therefore I felt less of a need for involvement in some of these areas. And that's something that I'm going to continue to do going forward.